Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris.
And I'm not a human.
Great. But we're here together.
As usual.
For more fun times and
shenanigans.
Mostly shenanigans because I have the pain zoomies and...
I've been awake for most of my life.
That's a trauma right there.
Yep.
Welcome to the show if this is your first time joining us. This is our sibling duo podcast / YouTube channel about life with chronic and invisible conditions and all the things that come along with them, including those that are social.
That is true.
Yeah.
Social, mental, and emotional.
Mental and emotional.
Because I'm mental and she's emotional.
I'm something. We don't know what, but
she's something, all right.
Yeah, where can they find us?
You can find us on YouTube if you want to watch the podcast. You can listen to us on most platforms except for on Apple.
Yep.
And you can join us on our Discord where we have discussions about everything.
Facts.
And we talk about episodes. And then we do our live streams on Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And you can join us on our Discord or on YouTube.
Indeed. And with that, it is time for the weekly recap.
Check in.
Check in. It looks like it hurts you when you say
Check in.
Anywho.
That's why I never made it as an actor. When it gets to my line, I get too intense.
Just...
I can do everyone else's lines just fine. And I'll be copacetic and calm, but then... Actually, I had a problem with that.
Really?
I did some school plays, and like I kept mouthing everyone else's lines because they would forget them. And I was like... And like you... I had no self-awareness.
Did you know that... Oh my god, what is her name? Hermione Granger.
Yes.
Yeah. Used to do this as a child. Used to do the exact same thing. And they used to have to cut and yell at her and be like...
I related so hard to that.
You're saying other people's lines. Stop it.
Yeah. You're doing it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to go first or should I go first? For sure.
I don't remember what happened this week. Give me half a second.
Snow.
Just tunes out and never comes back. And that's the end of the podcast. Thanks guys for being here. Let's see. What did I do anything this week? I don't think I did anything really.
Pokemon.
We did yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
We had the snowstorm.
Yep.
And there was lots of pressure changes and suffering. That's what it was. Lots of curled up in a ball.
Yeah. Tons of that.
That was my week, really.
Yeah.
And then we did Pokemon yesterday, which was fun. And then we did live yesterday, which was also fun.
Mm-hmm.
I got to take a nap for the first time in a week yesterday. And I slept a little bit last night.
Still not enough.
No. But it's better. And then we had the live today, which was really good.
Yes, it was a good live. We had a good time.
Yeah.
And that's it. You're wrapping it up there.
I really have nothing else to say. I've spent most of the week literally curled up in a ball in bed.
Yeah.
Not doing anything because I couldn't.
Same, but then I had therapy.
Yeah, but your therapy leads into the subject, so get to that last.
I was on break this week.
Yeah.
And I didn't do very much. There's a lot of like recovery time.
Yeah.
And then I did a little bit of productive, and then I got my car fixed.
Oh yeah, I did see Bug this week.
Yeah. We
nice.
We hung out on Thursday. No, Wednesday.
We sat in a room and all got on TikTok.
Wednesday. It was fun though.
It was fun. It was just funny.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I go upstairs and Shin's like, "What'd you guys do?" I was like, "We sat in a room." Did you interact? Kinda. Like we're showing each other TikToks.
I made my little brother watch all of my favorite.
I
TikToks,
edited the
and then
episode
he
during that.
Cracked up the whole time. Yeah.
While listening to you guys, that was
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. And then it snowed.
A
lot. And I didn't like it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's mostly the week, except for therapy, which was interesting this week, just because I went on a rant. I don't know what it was that was like, I don't know. It was just bothering me.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about how I was frustrated with the integrated pain services and the fact that it doesn't function like a pain management, and the fact that I want something that functions like a pain management.
Right.
And so she was asking me, like, what is it that you like about your brother's system that you don't like about here? And I was like, the monthly check-in. that's really nice, because then when things fluctuate and change, we have like a running dialogue. It's not like, oh, let me pull up your chart. Oh, wait, this is a different patient. Oh, wait, I thought you were somebody else. Oh, wait, I thought it was blah, 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 blah. Oh, wait, why did we put you on that medication again? Like, I want something that is like, has that continuity to it.
I'm going to bite my tongue. So you keep doing your thing.
No.
I'll jump in when I'm ready.
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
Well, I'm just... Because the other part of it was that she said that you were maybe being defensive and shutting down.
Yeah. Because I was frustrated at like the state of everything, and the fact that... Because in the last couple of sessions, we've talked about how it's not that no one wants to help you, it's that they can't. And I'm like, that is the same problem,
right,
as far as I'm concerned. Like, you want to help me versus you don't want to help me, but there's nothing to be done.
I don't
care.
It can't.
I don't
be done,
care. It's
right?
the same thing. And so this week we were talking about how I just have a hard time getting across everything I want to get across, because I have like today blindness, where I'm like, how I feel today is forever,
right? Versus
that thing that happened yesterday or 2 days ago or a week and a half ago or 6 weeks ago, because I don't see pain management often at all. And so they don't know what the heck's going on. But on the other hand, I don't want to tell them what's going on.
It's pretty drastic to think about. To put it in perspective, I see my pain management 12 times a year.
Yeah.
You see yours 4.
4 at best.
At best, yeah.
At best.
No wonder they don't like know you.
Yeah. Well, and that's the problem, because I'm tired of everybody like who doesn't know me coming back at me and trying to teach me about the psychology of pain.
Right, because that's where it always ends up too, right?
Yeah. I'm like the neurologist who blew me off, who was just like, let me tell you about your pain. And I was like, I wish you wouldn't do that, because guess what? I know. I'm aware.
Do you want to mansplain a little harder, bro?
Yeah. Not great. Didn't like it. And so she was talking about the fact that I get on the like defensive, right?
Because the way she presented, or the way you interpreted it, because the way you explained it to me, felt like she was saying that you were in the wrong for doing that.
No, and she made a really strong point to be like, I'm not saying that you're not communicating.
No,
but what I am saying is that you tend to downplay your symptoms and what you go through.
That's what I'm saying, is that's like on you for doing that. But it's
right
from where I'm sitting, it's the other way around, because I've had so many different experiences with different pain managements and pain solution and clinics.
Yeah.
That like bad doctors will put you on edge.
Yeah.
And you will downplay because you don't want them to think bad of you.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is like, and I talked to her a little bit about the idea that, because we've talked about performing pain before, and the fact that I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to explain to somebody the actual direness of a situation without being like, but it's fine.
Right.
I don't know how. Because guess what? It kind of is fine.
Yeah.
So it's a frustrating situation to be in, where you can't communicate properly, and then they want to bring it back to the communication but not solve the like overarching problems, like you were saying, that communication gets stifled because of the lack of trust and comfort with that practitioner.
There's so much to it. Yeah. There's like the fact that you can't just say what you're thinking.
Yeah.
There's the fact that they come at you.
Yeah.
When you're in appointments with them. I've listened to them a few times, and it's always, oh, well, what did you do? Why did this happen? Why don't you know about the pain thing? And it's like,
yeah,
bro.
Right. Well, and these people don't even tell me when I have a UA.
Right.
And then they get mad at me because I haven't done my UA that I didn't know I had.
Right.
So I'm like, how am I supposed to like have good communication and feel safe communicating with you guys when
there's no communication?
There's no communication.
Right.
And even when I do ask for things, it takes weeks for them to be responsive. They're not responsive.
Dude, I had a problem the first time I saw Natalie with the prescription that she wrote. She wrote it wrong.
Yeah.
And I just messaged her in the portal. And then 10 minutes later, I got a response.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I fixed it. I sent a different one over. It's fine. 10 minutes.
See, that's huge. But, like, they overbook these doctors, and then they have their, like, admin team that surrounds them, and the admin team. Like, that drives me crazy, too, because if you have a doctor on vacation, there's no reaching them.
Can't you plan
at all?
Right. It's vacations don't just happen randomly. Right. Like, there's a way you can plan around that. Yeah. Find coverage.
Right.
That's what you do in a
or like
retail
refer
job.
To somebody.
Right.
And be like, this is where everybody's at. This is the status quo. Instead of like, I would like to refill. And they're like, no. I'm like,
just no.
Why? And they're like, I don't know.
Well, your doctor seems to be on vacation every 2 months.
Oh, that's awful. And even when we do see each other, like, it's not productive.
No.
It's not productive because we keep doing the same, like, dance. It's the same thing. It's pain medication and then bad, pain medication bad, and then try something different. When I'm like, can we
Well, and you're out of things
work
to try at this point.
Oh, no, they want to go back to low-dose naltrexone.
I was about, well, except for the thing that isn't going to happen. So, like...
And I was telling my therapist about this because when I was willing to do it the last time, we had our appointment and I was like, yeah, I'm game to do it. But then I told her all the stuff that had happened that month.
And she said, put it off.
And she was like, oh, that's not chronic pain. That's acute pain. And I was like, yes. Yeah. Yes. And she was like, that's not going to help with that. And I was like, then what are we doing?
Yeah. That caught me off guard when it came back.
Right.
Because it seemed like there was a conclusion, but then the conclusion was forgotten about.
They forget. And then they gaslight me on the other end because they can't keep track of what they are saying.
Well, they have an agenda anyways.
Yeah.
They have some, they're not a pain management. They're a solutions thing.
It's integrated services. It's I don't want to send you to pain management.
It's your insurance doesn't want to pay for pain management.
Yeah.
So we have this wing where we put people who are in trouble.
Yeah.
and then they get gaslit into being the victor, the problem, and then they have bad times and then bad things happen.
Right. It's just frustrating because I'm like, I'm not the one who is forgetting what's going on.
No.
I get that you have so many other patients that you can't keep track, but that is the problem.
There's more to it than that, though. It's like the way they handle it, the way that they frame it, I guess.
It's not relational.
No. Because what they do is they have you come in, you explain what you've got going on. They attack you for saying those things. And then they talk to each other. Yeah. And they go, oh, well, but why are we on this again? Oh, well, it's because of this and this. Oh, but. And instead of asking you or getting your input on, like, why you're on things, because sometimes you can take something for something else. Right. Like, I'm on, Cymbalta's great for pain. Yeah. And depression. Yeah. Imagine that. Like, but no. And then they come to a conclusion, and then they tell you what's going to happen. Yep. And you just have to deal with it. Yep. Yeah. It's... Yeah. I don't get to be a member of my team. Right. And that's exactly what I told my therapist. I was like, I want to be part of my care team because guess what? I live in here. Mm-hmm. I know what's going on. I know what works and what doesn't work. It took me forever to get off of the baclofen because they were like, oh, but. And I was like, but actually it's not doing anything. Right. And it's adding to the fatigue. What do you want from me? Yep. And then we stopped it. And I was like, literally no change. Right. No change. Why were we on this for so long? Right. Because, well, that's what we prescribe for this thing. Mm-hmm. This is the blanket solution. Right. And I'm like, I'm not a blanket solution kind of kid. Obviously. Like, I'm a problem. Catch up. I don't. God. It's so alien to me. Yeah. Anymore. Like I've been in bad situations like that before where I would go into pain management and be like, I'm fine. Things are great. You know, my pain's a 1 and it's managed great and wonderful because you don't want to shake the boat at all. You don't want to stir the pot. Right. You don't want to be. Well, and that's the thing is like, I don't trust them enough to shake the boat. Right. Exactly. That's the thing. that shouldn't be a problem though.
Right.
Like if I have problems now, and I go to my pain management, I would just be like, this happened this month.
Yeah.
Could we do this? And then I would get a straight answer.
Right.
And a reason. Like even if they were like, no, because that's too high for what we can do.
Yeah.
At least you're being straightforward with me.
Right. And it's a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like you're saying no.
Like, no.
And then judging me for it. There's no
yeah.
like condescension.
Well, because that's what it is like, it feels like when I have my appointments, it's so nerve-wracking because I feel like I'm in trouble with mom and dad.
Yeah.
Or I'm like asking for an increase in my allowance.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to like bring them an essay that I wrote on my merits so that I can have what I need. Yep. And they're still going to be like, no, actually you're grounded, in fact.
I mean, yeah, there was that one appointment where they sounded like when they were talking to each other that they were going to be just stop everything.
Yeah.
And then you had to talk to them for like another 30 minutes.
Yeah. And
then like, okay, we can continue along as normal.
Yeah.
But there was that like 30-minute span of they were like, oh, well, then we'll just not do anything.
Yeah. Well,
and they decided it amongst each other in front of you.
Yes.
Like you weren't supposed to be there for that.
Right.
Weird.
It is weird. It's so weird. And I'm like, my team consists of one doctor and one pharmacist. And that's the whole team. Which, like, fine if that's your team. Cool. But also, can't we do something more, like, comprehensive? Can't we do something that is more holistic?
Mm-hmm.
Can't we look at me as a person?
So the other thing is my pain management, they would do those things for me if I hadn't already done them.
Yeah.
Like that was part of my intake process, was explaining the things I've done, things that I do, and things that work and don't.
Yeah.
And that was part of what built the relationship up, is that she trusted me because I could be like, I'm using these coping skills on the reg.
Right.
I've tried these coping skills. They don't work.
Yeah.
I've tried this for sleeping. This doesn't work. This does work. I've tried therapy. I'm in, and then like listing everything off that I've been through.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, so you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I do.
We're kind of old hat.
Right.
It's just frustrating not to be able to do that when I'm like, that's what I want and that's what I need. And I want to be able to be like, hey, guess what? This is hurting me. Hey, guess what? This is hurting me. What can we do? Like beyond these things? Because that was the other part that we talked about, was the like urgency factor of like trigeminal neuralgia. I can't speak today. My tongue has given up.
It's the tongue tie.
Blip, blip, blip. The trigeminal neuralgia has been super active lately, and I'm not happy. So I'm like super antsy about it in general. But talking about the urgency of that versus the medical response to that was just so disconnected, and so like it was like disillusionment in a way, because I had these people that I thought I trusted to take care of me, and then to have them be like, well, you're on everything that we would normally put you on, so bye.
Right.
And you're like, okay, but I'm still in agony.
Yep.
And that was the other one, was like, I would talk about, because it's known as suicide disease. It is the suicide disease.
Yeah.
And then they would turn around and kind of invalidate it by being like, well, a lot of people who do commit suicide with that is because it's that and migraines together. And I was like, you have never felt what it feels like, friend.
Right. You've read it in a book.
Never, ever, ever in your life even come close to what this feels like.
Yep.
Don't talk to me about it. Just don't. I don't want to hear anything but, I'm so sorry. What can we do to help you? Or just come straight forward and be like, there's nothing else we can do. Then can we have a conversation about how to make me a little more comfortable?
I mean, that's how it should go.
Right.
And how it does go at other places. There are places that work that way.
Right. But there's no sense of urgency. There's no sense of like, let's help you.
No, it always catches me off guard if I go into my pain management and I say something and they're like,
yeah,
you should get a referral for that. And I'm like, oh yeah, but I don't have to, like, it, they're like, just go now.
That's so nice.
You're like, what? Like, yeah, no, you can just go, you can walk in at this place, get your imaging done, and then just take it over here and you'll be fine.
Oh, dang.
We'll send over a referral.
Wow. See, and that's just, it's holistic.
It is.
And I want something holistic, because they call it like integrated. It's not.
No, it's the farthest from integrated.
Yeah. It's not integrated.
It is integrated. It's integrated into the bureaucracy of Kaiser.
Yeah.
That's how it's integrated. Like,
mm-hmm.
here's our insurance. This is what we're gonna pay for and what they're
Right.
allowed to. And you better not have patients that have high billings, because goddamn.
Right. Right. Well, and you can't prescribe them more than whatever because it looks bad.
Oh yeah, the optics.
Yeah.
The optics of the
well,
situation.
and it's the data that they like. They're like, oh well, we're super successful because our patients never go above blah blah blah, or we don't have patients that are like blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You just bully us into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that goes.
Yep.
So I'm just like, I'm tired of the doctor situation. And it's not making me very happy.
No,
these days.
It's a toughie.
Yeah.
Because like you're stuck in a plan,
mm-hmm.
and they don't have a solution.
Right. Well, and everything that they do is one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I go in to be seen for, my PT and I were talking about this because he was like, "That's what I hate about Kaiser is that it's not holistic." And he was talking about, he's like, "Well, you're here for this one thing, but we're going to look at everything because I understand that you are a human person."
I had that same interaction with my dentist, is that he looked at everything else. He was like, "Oh, let's take a look at everything and then we'll make a plan." I was like, "All right, man, let's do that."
We need it to be holistic because everything changes all the time. And I'm tired of them focusing on this, like, the chronic pain, the systemic pain.
Well,
and I'm like,
the kick now is
no
like,
clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, the kick is the pain is in your head. If you've ever taken a pain medication and you just have hypersensitivity because of it,
right?
Whatever that's called,
right? Well, and being in pain for so long, your
body's
system,
trained to it.
Yeah, you're just, things are gonna hurt that shouldn't.
People who are in pain. My favorite one is, if you break it down, when you boil it down, what they're saying, it's people who are in pain more. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's the like, oh, you've been in pain for a long time, so you're gonna have a lot more pain than most people. Like, no fucking, did you hear what you just said to me? Yeah, if I'm in pain, then I have more pain. Yes. Can we work on it? Well, no, because see, you took a pain medication. Yes, I took that for the pain. It's right, but
but it's systemic and it's making your pain worse. In fact,
but we prescribe a pain medication for, like, just shut up. Yeah, because it's like, I'm not medicating all the time for underlying pain levels. I am okay with being in pain, guys. I'm okay with it. The most unfair part of it is that I think this is true for a lot of people who have chronic illness or chronic pain, and they're kind of new.
Yeah.
It's unfair because the decision to go on to pain medications is a huge, scary, daunting thing. Yeah. Because you're going to blame yourself. You're going to think you're the problem. Mm-hmm. You're going to think that you're an addict. Yep. You're going to like question every time you take one. You're going to feel bad about it.
Yes. Like, why should I feel guilty treating pain? That's
for
not
a thing that was given to me by a doctor.
Right.
Because of the thing I'm experiencing that I don't believe I have, but I know I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know that you have it, but you doubt that it exists.
Right. Right. Well, it's not like I'm sitting there like medicating for every little pain.
No. Well, that's the thing. I didn't get that at the beginning either when I started. Like, I thought that they were like, that I was supposed to be taking it constantly. Yeah. And I was only taking them for when I needed to do things. Mm-hmm. You know, like if I had a big project coming up, I would be like, okay, I can take one and then go do my thing. Yeah. Which is the healthy way to go about it.
Right.
Not that makes me bad. But in my head, I was like, oh God, I'm just such a piece of shit. I can't even do this thing without taking my meds.
Yeah. And that thing that's prescribed to me for the problem that I have.
I'm such an addict. I mean, that was my thought. Yeah. And then when I went to...
And the shame of, like, if anybody knows you're on pain medication...
Oh, God.
The way they look at you... Yeah. Which is why, like, now, after what happened with the Butrans patch, if I have to medicate at all, I'm not going to work. Right. Even though I know I can handle that dose and still do things and still be a sane human being.
Because there are people that are dangerous to you in that situation. Yes. They're looking to like, catch you. Yep. Because that I don't get. Like, I know, I can't get into the details.
For fun.
We know who did it. Yeah. I don't understand the agenda behind it.
For fun.
Oh, God, that bothers me so much.
Because this
that's your livelihood and your comfort.
The gossip human.
Right. So let's just
time,
spread
yes.
the fucking tea without regards to how that could literally screw you out of a license
not the tea.
and your pain management.
Yeah.
And your, like, you could lose all of that.
Yep.
Because of someone just gossiping.
Right.
That is bullshit.
Yep. And so I don't anymore.
Right.
I'm like, okay, fine.
And you know, that's not great.
No, it's not great.
It's not. Like, you've been dealing with like emotional stuff on top of it, but your emotional stuff is probably exacerbated by the fact that you're not able to take care of your pain at all.
Yeah.
During work.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just so frustrating. Like, the whole system is so frustrating. And to be able to, like, oh, we tried the Butrans and that didn't work, so we're going to go back to where we started. And in the summer, you need to get on this other thing that you're super nervous of doing and you don't want to do. But everybody keeps telling you you're going to have great results with
until they realize
blah,
what...
blah, 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 blah,
until
blah.
it connects in their heads that it's not a chronic pain.
Yes. Because they're like, oh, well, I know you talk about, like, the subluxations and the dislocations, but there's, like, a low level of, like, your baseline pain. We're hoping to move your baseline pain. And I hate hearing that because that's exactly what they were saying with the Butrans.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but you didn't.
Right. The whole Butrans thing in general is just ugly because it could have been avoided. We knew that it was likely to happen.
Yes.
Because it happened to me on multiple patches. I've tried all of those before and I had the same reaction.
But literally right before, because I was even saying I was worried about having, like, problems because my brother had problems.
Yes.
And she was like, well, genetics don't blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, never mind. Freaking never
Genetics
mind.
don't blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well,
way to be a doctor.
It's that, like, well, just because he had a reaction doesn't mean you're gonna.
No.
You're like, okay, but I'm more likely to.
Right. This is something that we should talk about, and it should be marked in your notes before you go into it.
Yes.
But it wasn't, probably, that you had expressed concern, which, oh, God.
Yeah.
I feel like if you have to stay there, you need to have them document everything you say.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? Like, have it on the notes that I said that I'm experiencing acute pain again.
Yeah.
And not chronic pain.
Yeah.
And then until they go back in the notes, you can be like, hey, look, it's here every 3 months. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you see a trend?
Wow.
Maybe we could treat it like it is the way it is.
Right. It's just irritating. Like, none of it makes sense. None of it is helpful in the way that it needs to be helpful. No. And it's hard too, because, like, I know that my therapist gets it.
That's the hard part.
And, like, by the end of the conversation, she just looked sad.
I love your therapist.
She just looked upset.
She's not like that.
Well, once she and I finally came to the point where she was like, oh,
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Well,
now.
and I was there for, like,
that
turning point. Like, I got to hear her, like, start to figure it out.
Figure it out, man. Because that's the thing, is, like, we're not complaining of a chronic pain.
Right.
We're complaining of pains that, like, switch places and move around. And she's like, that was the other part that made me mad. They were like, well, but you talk about it moving around. And I was like, yeah, because other things subluxate. What? It's not like I have, like, oh, my knee hurts. Oh, my hip hurts. Like, no, there's reasons, because things subluxate and dislocate.
How do you express that, though? There's no better way to say it than they move around, because they move around.
Yeah.
But
that's
it's not like
what
wandering
they have
pain.
In their head.
They're like, oh, so it's phantom pains that are moving about your body like a goat. No,
that's what they think.
It's like, because I slept on my side, my hips popped out, and then I woke up and they hurt all day.
Yeah. The pressure changed and everything feels like I slept in a like, ice bath.
Yeah.
That's today. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the hands have been horrible.
Mm-hmm. And everything's cold. And my elbows hurt.
So your only solution is to play the game.
Yep.
Or pay out of pocket to go to a pain management clinic.
Yeah. But my husband's school is moving away from Kaiser.
Really?
And so we're talking about looking at what that would
cost. Like a family plan?
Uh-huh. Like his plus spouse. And what that would look like, I just don't know.
That could be really good, though.
Yes.
Because even if it's only partial, the payments that you make on pain management aren't bad.
Yeah.
The harder part would be prescriptions, but if you can get a good plan,
right,
there would be a better situation than what you have now.
Yeah.
And I know I've been to a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
Not that I bounce around.
I like the
I'm
one
not
that
crazy.
that you're at right now.
I got kicked out of 2. 3 of them shut down. I didn't do it.
He's like, I burned them down.
And by kicked out, I mean I had to leave them because I needed better care.
Yeah. Pretty much.
They didn't kick me out. They just were like, we can't change.
Can't help you. Yeah.
We have to do it this way. And I was like, okay, well.
And I get it. Like, there are a lot of places that are not patient focused.
No.
But
no,
that's
there are pill mills. I've been to one of those.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Don't want that.
That you can tell when you're in the lobby where you're at.
Yeah.
Hate those. Not a fan. And then there's the ones that are, how do you word it? It's like, they're kind of like in between. They're good, but they're not great.
Yeah.
It's like they're good and they're so good that they have too many people, so that you kind of get lost in the crowd.
Because they're not,
because everyone's like suggesting them to everybody.
Yep.
And then there's the little ones that I always find before they explode.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But you're early enough to be a favorite patient, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. Because that's the thing is like, I know I'm not a pain in the ass patient.
No.
You just literally need to
speak
me? To me every once in a while.
Literally, the only thing that would change for you would be that your email that you send monthly would be a visit.
Yeah.
And you'd have monthly UAs.
Right. Which is fine.
Right?
I'm okay with doing that.
Well, even at my clinic, they apologize.
Which is so funny.
I'm sorry, but can you do a UA? Is it okay? We got to do it. It's like, yes, I know.
Well,
I've been here before.
They don't care if you pop green, so that's good.
They don't. Not major. They're like, don't go crazy with it.
Don't go crazy with it.
I was like, fine, I won't go crazy with it.
Don't go crazy.
But even when there were discrepancies, like they called me out because I took Concerta, and they were like, you didn't fill that for a long time. And I was like, I know, I just had some laying around. And they were like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Right?
You know what I mean? Like, it was a conversation. It wasn't an attack. It wasn't
something else that really bothers me about just in general. If it's your medication at your house that you have that's prescribed to you, why can't I take my leftover Adderall?
Right.
Why?
Well, that's basically what we came to, is that she was just making sure that I wasn't like taking like for fun. Like, I'm out on my Adderall binge. That's my thing. I take all the Adderall.
You're like, I'm going through a phase. Just wait a couple months.
I'm trying to learn about worms. I need to know everything there is about worms. I gotta know. I don't sleep anymore. I just think about the worms.
I just think about worms.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a conversation. It wasn't like a, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not an interrogation.
Now imagine that from your point of view. You walk in and there's been a discrepancy in your UA.
Yeah.
You're fucking done.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Because they're not going to talk to you about it.
Right.
They've made up their mind.
Well, and nobody will tell you that something's wrong with your UA until they're like, it's time for you to get your verbal beating.
Let me get water everywhere. Making a mess on YouTube.
He's just watering himself. It's fine.
I got a drinking problem. Hole in my lip.
That's called your mouth.
No, it's called my stepdad. Years of being made fun of.
Trauma.
For everyone.
For everyone. Fun for the whole family.
Well, I mean, okay, so there's at least options that look like you're looking into things.
Yeah.
Which is better than not.
Yeah.
Even the prospect of a different future.
Right.
Can carry us when things are bad.
Yes. Because that's the thing is like, and that's what Jackie was saying. She was like, my therapist was asking like, are these things you can't change? And I was like, well, I could, but it's big steps, right? Like, I'm looking into things. It's not like I'm sitting here going, oh, life is happening to me.
No.
That's never been my attitude.
And she should know that you're kind of trapped. Like, if you want to change your medic team, you have to drop an entire company.
Yeah.
And then find individual, oh God. Mm-hmm. Not that I know what this is like, but it sounds horrible.
It's
putting together a team of doctors that will talk to you and will talk to each other. Mm-hmm. It's not easy.
Right.
It took me 7 years. And even then I'm balancing between them because some of them are so good they move up in the world, or some of them stand up for their patients and get fired.
Right. That was bad.
I'm still mad about that.
You should be.
Marianne was my favorite.
She was the best. It's just frustrating. The whole thing. All the way down.
It's just a menace in general, the whole pain management thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's this like, I just don't understand. When we have patients who have run the gambit, why are we still treating them like they're brand new patients? Why are we still treating them like they've never thought about the concept of pain before?
The other end of that is if you come in with like treatments and from other places,
yeah,
why do they assume that you're faking it?
Yes. Yep.
Like, look at my history. Oh, you've duped a lot of doctors in your time. You had open surgery. Oh man, they opened your spine. How did you trick him into that? What did you put in there? You did 5 scopes?
They thought it was a tumor? How'd you manage that one?
Right. Because I've had that happen where it's like, you can tell they're being like really incredulous.
Right, like they get mad that you have a good reason for being in pain.
Yeah.
Which I feel also. I don't get that.
We don't, though. We're the exception. Like, we have a good reason to be in pain, but not the way they want. They want us to have like a broken leg that healed wrong, or a back thing from when we did something stupid as a kid. You know what I mean? Some chronic pain that they can then explain to us. Pain. Yeah. They're like, now I'm going to teach you that pain is from your emotions and it's built into the body. And we have all, it's like, yes, I know these things, but I don't have chronic pain.
Yeah.
I have pains chronically.
Yes.
I do have chronic pain.
So annoying. Yeah.
I do.
Like your back and sometimes my gut.
Right. But like, I know what it is, and it doesn't, most of my complaints aren't my back.
Right.
You know what I mean? like how often do I complain about my back?
Knee. It's my elbow.
Like, honestly, in the last month, it's been bad. Yeah. But that's like the first time in years. Yeah. I'm talking about everything else. I'm like, my nose hairs hurt before I talk about my chronic pain.
Yeah.
Because I understand that.
Right.
I know what it is, and I know how to take care of it.
Now, if you can teach me about the psychology of mouth pain, then we can have a conversation.
Nobody understands that.
Teach me how mouth pain is in my head, and then we can talk. I mean, it is in my head, but not the way you want it to be.
Yeah.
The trigeminal neuralgia isn't just like a made-up thing that is... It literally, like, it's called the suicide disease, and I still can't get any help.
Yeah.
What?
I was looking up... arachnoiditis the other day.
Yeah.
And they mentioned suicidality a lot in it. And I was like, I forgot that people actually hate this.
Yeah.
Like, I just deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you do too, right? Like, what are you going to do?
Right. Because what are your options? At a certain point, your options literally become do or don't.
Right.
So you either deal with it or you don't. And when you don't, you...
Yeah.
Either jump off the planet or you... resign yourself to being bedbound and like reclused.
Yeah.
And
I've done that.
Yeah.
I lived the recluse life with my back spine.
The other word for recluse.
Hermit?
No.
Psychopath?
Withdrawn. There we go.
That's what I said. I said withdrawn.
Psychopath?
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 I was just naming things I think about myself.
Stop it. You're not a psychopath. You have way too much emotional awareness.
I wanted to throw something at your face and then laugh, but then that would have been like emotion. I want to be emotionless, so I would just throw it at you and be angry.
Sure. Okay.
Sure.
He's going to throw things at me when we're done.
She was talking about throwing things all morning. It got me on a kick, okay?
I was.
But that is to say that there is good pain management.
Yes.
But you're in the situation where you need to find a solution for yourself because you do this a lot where you're trying to figure out how to manage the future that's worse. Mm-hmm. Like we both do that, right? Like we don't know if it's going to be better or worse. We're not assuming it's going to be horrible, but we have a plan.
Yeah.
And it's hard you get to a point where it's so hard to visualize how the future is going to work when you can't manage things in the present.
Yeah. Well, and especially when you can't predict what's going to go out of whack next.
Right.
Like, what order are things going to fall apart in?
Or what new magical condition will you discover? Like trigeminal neuralgia. No one saw that coming.
No. There was no reason for that to happen at all. I'm a little bitter about it.
Well, if Dr. House was here, he would have been like, yeah, but she had
it's lupus.
No, he would say it's not lupus. The stupid doctors would suggest it, and then he'd go, it's never lupus.
Never lupus.
I really wanted it to be lupus just for the meme. I really did. For a while, I was like, it better be lupus. It wasn't. It was EDS. Oh well.
It's not.
You win some, you lose some. Oh God, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, like when it's so random, like the EDS comes with so much just like surprise mystery box bullshit.
Right.
It's like, just deal with it. And then you're trying to make your future, and you're trying to like make plans of things that you want, and you don't get to have the wants anymore because you can't make the plans.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing that I was saying to her, was like, there's no like I can picture myself in 5 years. There's like, I have random like wishes for the future. But
you don't go too far in the future
because I can't.
Right.
Like it's all black, bruh. Like I'm pulling stuff out of the void to try to put together a picture that's going to be shaken up like a snow globe in a second anyway.
Side tangent.
Yes.
Does anyone else get really upset when people talk about your future? Or like that they have future goals that are like, I have a 10-year plan. And you're like, bitch, I don't have a 3-month plan. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
I
don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right. Am I going to be in the tub all day? Did I fall down and die? Who knows?
I just dislocated my ankle.
Are you going to dislocate your ankle sitting? Sorry, it's just really annoying. And I know that like we were going to do an episode about the SADs, but like.
Yeah. No, this one was, it needed to happen. It was a good one. For sure. But it's just,
I think a lot of it is the SADs that you were experiencing are things that you've already processed.
Yes.
So it feels
just like a rehashing of,
It's probably a lot of everything else going on at the same time.
Yes.
And then
coming up on the year anniversary for not just the trigeminal neuralgia, but my brother trying to die.
Yeah, where's that bastard? I'd yell at him if I could find him, but
I know he didn't try.
No, I tried really hard not to.
I know.
It kind of irks me because people say that, and I'm like, but you
That's
have
why
no
I said,
idea how hard.
I know you tried. I know. I know you
literally
didn't want to jump off the planet.
Dragged myself out of bed, fell down the stairs, threw myself outside. It was a mess, but I did it.
Yeah.
I made it.
He did. He did, yeah. Oh, God.
But yeah.
Oh, it's just, the whole thing is just annoying. Like, I wish that you could just install somebody into your brain for a little while and be like, okay, now I need you to experience what it's like so you can
could you imagine
fully understand
a future where that's a thing? Like, doctors have to
that would be so nice.
Like they don't have to, but they can
get in there.
You can have a doctor who has experienced all the different kinds of pain, and then
that's what we need. Really, is like we need somebody who has EDS.
Yeah.
And I don't have a doctor that has EDS, and so I have a problem.
We have friends though.
Ow.
We have a community that has EDS.
Do, which is really helpful.
Yeah. Do you need Jen?
No. I think I'm okay.
Okay.
It's just that like top part right here. And then the heel hurts really bad now because I moved it. Ow.
Did I dislocate my elbow before or after we started recording? Before, right? When I was like sitting here and I moved my thumb and was like, oh, that was unpleasant.
I think it was before we started the show. But it was while we were recording.
If you're in the Patreon gang.
Yeah, you'll get to see that one. I got to teach him about elbows.
Well, I knew what to do. I even took off the rings because I was like, I need to get my palm on here.
Yeah.
But it...
Pop, pop. Or you throw them like a mad woman.
I had to do that the other day because my wrist was out in 3 spots.
Yeah.
It was bad. Like you know how like your pinky is like on my broken hand, it sticks out normally?
Yeah.
This hand was doing it. And this isn't broken. So like it was out here, here, and here. And I could feel it. So I pulled on it and set the middle one. And then I had to flick my hand a couple times to get the other ones to set properly.
Ow.
And they were like grinding. It was nasty.
Ew. That does not sound fun.
No.
At all. Ow.
That's EDS.
But that's EDS. God. There's sometimes where like I just have to medicate or I'm not going to sleep at all that night. Because my hip hurts when I lay down. And if it's not my hip, it's my shoulder that hurts when I lay down.
Yeah.
Or my knees. Ah, there it goes.
To go full circle, finish my thought.
Yes.
I remember where I was going.
Good.
I was talking about how it's hard to like plan a future when it's dark and bleak and whatnot. But like when we have options, it's so much easier to like figure. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even just thinking that there's a thing that I could do.
Yeah.
Like having the option to do a thing.
Well, that's the thing is like, that's why I don't know. When people say like professional patient, I get
triggered,
irked because I want to know what the heck it is, man. I want to know.
I think we should take it back.
Broken mechanism.
In my head, anytime I hear professional patient, I think of Ruth.
Yeah.
Because Ruth is organized,
yes,
knowledgeable, and amenable to doing things and getting shit done.
Right.
That's a professional patient. Someone who takes it seriously, monitors their condition, and takes care of themselves.
Right. It's not just like, I'm going to the doctor for fun now.
WebMDing. No.
I hate every
There's
moment.
a condition called hypochondria. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that.
Whoa.
Not everybody has it.
Whoa.
Doctors seem to think everyone has it.
Doctors seem to think everybody has it. They're like, I don't know why you're here again. And you're like...
Because of the thing that's wrong with me.
You know that genetic condition? And they go, well, you can't blame everything on EDS. And we go, yes, we can.
Watch me.
I'm gonna. I am going to.
Yeah.
Don't play.
But I'm just saying we need to take it back because...
Yes.
Man.
Because it should not be a derogatory term.
No.
That's ridiculous. And it bothers me that doctors are threatened by patients who know what the heck is going on with them.
Doctors are insecure about not knowing things at all in general. Like they...
Can we just leave it
they're
at doctors
so used to being
insecure?
A source of knowledge and comfort. Like their egos feed off of that.
Yeah.
The bad ones I've noticed at least.
Yeah.
Like that's their thing is like when you get a specialist who's like just like I had a surgeon who was a douche. He was the worst. He was just condescending. I saw him maybe
you shouldn't talk to people
3 times and they were not fun, but he did a great job. But he was not a good guy.
Well, okay, surgeons are the exception, right?
Right.
Because surgeons don't have social skills.
They don't need them.
And they don't need them.
Right.
They're really good at the cut, snippy, snip, stitch it back up part.
Yeah.
Leave them alone. They're all autistic
good.
and they have no clue what's going on.
Not all of them.
In
I've
the
had
social
some great
world.
surgeons. They were very, very personable. But this guy was, he was trying to explain to me like the stupid little things. Like we're gonna put an IV. It's like I know what an IV is, fool. I know you're gonna put me.
Jesus.
You're gonna fill me with propofol. You're gonna put me under. Then you're going to cut me open. You're going to then stick a metal rod into my shoulder and then a camera.
And then we're gonna go like this a lot. And it's going to be really off-putting.
Pause?
No, but they you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but
they get in there. I don't know what it is, but they like
wiggle it again.
Take out some aggression on you.
They do. Well, they have to. I mean,
performing surgery.
I've watched a lot of scopes, and they are violent.
Yeah, they are violent. They're like, all right, puncture that.
They get it done.
And you're like, oh. That guy could have been a stabber.
I'm glad that you have at least have like an option.
Yeah.
Something to look into.
Something. We're getting there. And I really like my PT, which is something that I
Dr. Wright.
Did not expect. Yes, I love Dr. Wright. He's wonderful. He's just the best.
Mm.
I wish I could have them pass back the pain management to him and we could just talk it out.
Yeah, but he can't. Doctors in general can't.
Exactly, I know.
Because of their overheads.
And that's the problem. Because
that's what Diana tried to do with me.
Yeah.
But
your doctor, your like primary care, knows what the hell is going on with you.
She did.
For the most part.
She figured most of it out for us.
God.
That was like an experiment.
Yeah.
I went in once. This was horrible. I went in when the side pain was at its worst. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't sit in the chair.
Yeah.
I had to like curl up like this.
Yeah.
And she was like, is it that bad? And I was on heavy pain meds. I was like, yeah, no, it's really, really bad. She's like, you need to go to the ER then.
Oh.
So she called ahead.
Good.
And I go in. And then they don't believe me.
Of course. Because it's the ER.
These were the doctors that decided I needed to do
yeah. The spinal tap and
the spinal tap and the same set of doctors that were like, oh, you're just constipated. We have to check for blockages.
Yes.
So they're like, bend over.
Stick my hand up
my
there.
whole hand.
Just
It's like, that's not what it is, fool.
Oh my God. And I hate hearing that where they're like, I don't know, you were full of shit. Like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't looking for anything on the x-ray anyway.
That was like months before we figured out there was a tumor on my spine.
Yeah.
But
it's just so frustrating. There's no guarantee to any of it. And you have to keep pushing and fighting. And that's part of the problem is the pushing and the fighting leads to that like attitude about it.
Yeah, it makes it like adversarial.
Everything. Exactly. It feels like I'm going to battle every time I have to talk to you people.
I still get it. It's built in now. It's medical trauma.
Yes.
Like, I have this with Jen, and part of why my heart rate's always really high when I go in, my blood rate and all that, are because I'm used to having to defend myself.
Right.
Or explain away
Yep.
things or hide things so that I appear normal, but
well, and then you have to play the game of like, am I performing enough pain for them to see?
I don't have
but
to.
Not enough for them to like think I'm faking.
The fact that I can go in and tell them that I'm registering a 7, and they're like, or no, that I'm a 4, and then Jen's like, no, he's actually at a 7, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, and they buy it because they know that I'm just
because they took
lowercase.
the time to know that you're a human person
and that I've experienced lots of pain before.
Functions differently than a lot of other people.
It's so nice. But I still go in and it stresses me out. Mm-hmm. Like I'm sweating bullets sitting in the lobby. I'm like, why? Why am I like panicking? I'm
terrified.
About this?
Yeah.
There's like no reason.
When I go see Dr. Wright. Yeah. And I'm terrified for no reason, even though he's wonderful. And every interaction I've had with him has been a good one. Mm-hmm. But it's that fear that like.
It's built in.
They are going to call me a liar. They're going to treat me like I'm a liar.
I'm going to end on, I don't think it's fair that that's a thing.
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
I just realized how many people probably just go without care because they didn't want to fight the system and they took it at face value like I did for however many years. Like, it was like 8 years where I was just, exercise it away, guy. That's you're just atrophying. Yeah. Because you type.
Which is the most ridiculous thing to say to, what, a 22-year-old?
22-year-old who was pretty fucking built.
You sailed for, like...
Yeah, no, I was training with junior Olympians.
You're 22 and you're atrophying. Buddy,
because
did he have a coma while no one was looking?
Right, well, and because my shoulder...
What?
My
because the dip.
Because, my collarbone sticks out. And then it dips down. So they can see it. They're like, oh.
No, what you're seeing is the subluxation.
Yeah. We didn't know that at the time. But you get what I mean. Like, it's so sad to think of how many people just cope and then they can't cope and then they unalive themselves because it's too much.
Right. Yeah.
And then who pays for it?
Yeah.
There's no doctor is at home like, oh, I feel guilty. I shut down that chronic illness patient.
Well, that's part of the problem, I think, is that they don't connect the two.
Right.
Like, it's never, I don't know, whenever I hear it talked about with, like, somebody who was in pain ended their life, or, like, somebody who got sent home from the ER didn't make it because the ER didn't take them seriously.
Yeah.
Then they come down on, like, the ER, right? It's not that guy or that nurse.
Or the beauty of all beauties, the statistician that decides that he was given pain meds in the hospital, died
of pain medication. Yes. They do that all the time. They add, like, if you're an elderly person who happens to take pain medication and you die of old age, it's going to be chalked up to the pain medication.
When I die from
pain medication,
hoverboarding accident or skydiving and I didn't pull the parachute on accident,
it's
going to be because of the pain medication. I OD'd. For sure. The gunshot wound to my forehead that I was inflicted in when I was saving that baby from a fire that had a gun. The fire had a gun. It was scary. That was the pain meds. They killed me.
Yeah. Yeah. Why? Why is that like that? And then they're like, oh, everything is horrible. And then you realize it all comes back to just fentanyl. You're like,
yeah.
Okay, you did this. Guess who did this? You did this.
Yeah.
Stop looking at all of the actual pain patients who are trying to do it the right way.
But then it's like step 1 on the fucking Medicaid like list. The process of like things you have to take. It shouldn't even be on there. And as far as I'm concerned.
No. It's insane like, to me that they give it to like pregnant women. That is it's insane that they would put to me. Like, I can't believe that. They're like, oh, you're giving birth. You want some fentanyl?
Right. Well, just in general, like the fact that it's used as a topical, like a patch for people who have EDS, like that's ridiculous to me. EDS could be treated with a patch of fentanyl.
A fentanyl patch. Why? Why are we doing this?
Like, could we just avoid the fentanyl?
Stop. Get some help.
It's only like thousands of times more potent than other things, so
just go back to Dilaudid.
Whatever. Been on that. I've been on everything.
He's been everywhere.
Most of it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too, is like, why can't I just be like, I found a thing that works.
Yeah.
I get that you don't want this to be a long-term solution for me, but guess what? It's been like 8 years. Still doing okay. Did I have to like increase it? Yeah, because I was doing more.
Yeah. Well,
and then more stuff is falling apart too.
Right.
Like, and then the face came along, and then like, it's not like I'm on this steady trajectory of like, no pain is gonna ever increase ever.
Right.
And then suddenly I have to increase my doses.
The other thing
because that's what we charted.
And it used to be, it's not that it is now this anymore, because I don't really hear anyone talk about it, but resistance, like to the drugs in general. I haven't heard that in a while, but in the beginning that was the thing. Like, oh, well, we can't up them. It's like,
well, you do gain tolerance.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, we're aware of that and take
like
breaks
I think people who are in pain understand that that's a thing.
Yes.
And they know, like, they're not like, oh, I need more.
Right. We're like, oh, I'm gonna back down so
at least
it
people
works
who
later.
Are handling it legit, because that's a resource. That's a resource that you have limited access to.
Yes.
And you need to be careful with it. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
The whole thing's a mess.
It's just a mess. And on that note,
I'm gonna throw this chair out the window and cry.
He's gonna throw his desk right out the window.
He's gonna throw it out the window.
Out the window. So lower your voice.
He's
all right.
killing it.
It's my favorite. I love it. All right, my friends, thanks for hanging out and tagging along with us as we went down this very angry road.
Yeah.
This path to vengeance.
Look, as far as it went, we were going to talk about the SADs because you're having SADs. But then someone casually brought it up yesterday during the live, and I was like, we're talking about that because it makes me mad.
Yep.
And even Karina was like, we did an episode like 8 months ago. I was like, we're doing it again.
I had to look because I was like, wait a second, I need to know.
Well, and it's different, right? Yeah. We weren't talking like pain management. It's like a how-to.
Like follow up to.
This is
and like what we need and what we don't get most of the time.
And mostly just want you to know you're not alone in it.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that's the takeaway, and that they know there are options.
Yeah.
You can doctor shop and not be a monster, and you're not alone. And if you need help or resources, join our Discord.
There you go. Facts on facts. Stacks on stacks.
But we're not morticians, so we can't help you.
Facts. More facts, yes. Not a mortician. Don't believe anything that I say.
Don't take our medical advice. We're not morticians.
Yeah, no.
We can't embalm you when you die.
I can't help you.
Do morticians embalm? That's a funeral thing. Like a funeral.
I literally don't know.
I'm going to look that up.
I think you could be a mortician who works in a funeral home.
Right. And then you do the embalming.
But I think, right. Like the mortician is the person who does the job, not the job itself.
Okay. Real quick, before we end, another ADHD thought. Ruth was talking about having her funeral plot picked out and having a headstone, right? And my ADHD, hyperactive, manic self was like, oh, can I be on it? Like, I just wanted, like, to be, I don't know.
I want to be on your headstone.
I think it'd be cool. I don't know. Like, and then I was like, why don't we have, like, gravestones that, like, are, like, family and friends signing it? And then.
Like a yearbook. I mean, you could. You just got to take a chisel to it.
No, I want it like part of it. I want it chiseled in like a, you know what I mean? Like,
so you write it and then the craftsman chisels it out.
Right. And I don't know, to me, the idea that your your headstone would be full of your friends and family.
That's gorgeous. I love that.
Is cooler to me than just, I was alive.
I lived once upon a time.
It's like, look at these people that cared about me.
From this year to this year.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that, I don't know.
I like that a lot.
That's a lot more touching to me than like, I was a father and brother and son. And I died.
I died.
Like,
here's a
good
quote
for you.
From Lord of the Rings.
Whereas I could just be like burned up and then spread around the world or dumped in a lot. I don't care. It's not my body at that point. And then people could sign things.
Yeah.
That's just all I'm saying.
Yes. I would like to.
Will you grab this?
Oh. No. Let's sign off, shall we?
Yeah.
There's chicken right there, so we're gonna say
happen.
goodbye now. You guys should know the drill. Be kind to you, be kind to others, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Signable headstones. Look it up. Make it happen. I want to be on your headstone.